Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about one of the most misunderstood places in the DC metro area, and I'm talking about Southern Maryland. Lots of people say that there's nothing to do down here, or it's just a pit stop between DC and Virginia, and I'm here to tell you that that's like saying crab cakes are just a fancy version of fish sticks. It's completely untrue. In this video, we're tackling 6 of the biggest myths people tend to believe about living in Southern Maryland. We're going to talk about everything from job opportunities to things to do on the weekends, and maybe, just maybe, we'll end the debate as to whether or not Old Bay seasoning is legally required on everything. Spoiler alert, it kind of is. Let's get into it. I'm Jonathan Benya. With decades of experience in the Southern Maryland real estate market, I'm here to give you the insider edge from smart tips to local insights. This channel helps you buy, sell, and win in this real estate market. Let's get started. Let's get started with myth number 1. Lots of people say it's all just farmland and small fishing towns. The truth is, yes, we've got farms. And yes, they're beautiful. Cornfields, tobacco barns, roadside stands with fresh produce. We've got all of that, but that's not all. Southern Maryland is also home to thriving small towns, modern shopping centers, waterfront restaurants, breweries, and even tech campuses. I'm sure you've heard of the Patuxent River Naval Air Station. Well, it's a major hub for aviation and defense, not exactly your typical barnyard. You've got business parks in Lexington Park with employers like Boeing, Deloitte, Lockheed Martin, and you've got growing residential neighborhoods in places like Waldorf, historic charm in towns like Leonardtown, and of course we've got hospitals, colleges, and even organic markets, so yes, we are fully civilized. What Southern Maryland has is a fantastic balance between rural living and modern suburban life. You're just as likely to hear a rooster crowing in the morning as you are to hear someone complain about their latte being too foamy in the line at Starbucks. Now, myth number 2 is something I hear all the time, and that is that there's nothing to do in Southern Maryland. Let me just say this. If your idea of a banger weekend is sitting in front of the TV watching reruns of The Office...
An air duct! Oh my God! Okay, it's happening! Everybody stay calm! What's the procedure, everyone?
Hey, there's no judgment. But there's so much more to Southern Maryland than that. Truth is, there's always something going on, between water sports on the Patuxent and the Potomac rivers to hiking at Calvert Cliffs or St. Mary's River State Park. You've got so many options right in front of you here in the local area. There's always something going on, between boat races on the weekend, demolition derbies, national lawnmower racing championships even happen here in Southern Maryland, which it's kind of like Coachella, only there's a lot more lawn equipment. And of course, don't forget about the local wineries and breweries that we have in this area that most weekends have live music playing. You've got dozens of places to go horseback riding in the area, plenty of golf courses, paintball courses. Heck, there's even an NHL-sized hockey rink located right here in Waldorf, Maryland. And of course, don't forget about the county fairs, the local car shows, and annual fireworks celebrations that really turn small towns into main events. And some of the local events really sort of highlight the flavor of this region. You've got Maryland International Raceway, which has drag races most weekends throughout the summer. You've got dragon boat races out at Solomon's Island every year. And of course, you can't miss out on seeing a demolition derby at least once in your life. I mean, let's face it, if you haven't been to a demolition derby while eating fried Oreos, I don't think you've really lived. And for everybody who still thinks that there's not enough to do in Southern Maryland, I'm just going to say this. Last weekend, I was at a local winery. I was petting alpacas while sipping my Merlot, and to be honest, I just don't think that's the kind of thing you can do in DC. Myth number 3 is that there's no real job opportunities here in Southern Maryland. A lot of people seem to think that if you don't work for the military or the government, that there's no real opportunity in Southern Maryland. And that's just not true. Yes, Pax River is a major employer in the local area, and it's an economic engine. But there's a lot more to the area, such as the healthcare systems that are constantly hiring anything from nurses to IT techs. And of course, the public school systems are hiring teachers, admin, and support staff every single year. And to be honest, there's a strong skilled trades industry. Electricians, HVAC techs, contractors, all of those are in high demand. And I think one of the things that really makes Southern Maryland special is the volume of entrepreneurs and small business owners that really help this region thrive. Everything from independent restaurants to IT consultants. and a host of adorable local businesses that really make this place shine. There's also been a huge wave of remote workers who have realized that they can still make that DC salary without having to make that treacherous commute up I-495 every single week. Yes, the Navy and the military are big employers here in Southern Maryland, but you don't need to have a top secret security clearance in order to make a six-figure income. Myth number 4 is that we are just too far away from everything. And while I'll admit that's half true, Southern Maryland is spread out. There's something that comes along with the lifestyle that this area affords that you simply can't get in DC or Prince George's County. In some cases, we're less than an hour away from the nation's capital. We're 45 minutes to an hour from Annapolis, which is the state capital. And we're never far away from beaches, nature's right out your back door, and of course, we have commuter buses and ride shares and park and ride lots so that you can get in and out of DC easily. But the secret is that you don't need to go anywhere. We have tons of shopping opportunities here in the local areas, farms, breweries, live music, and of course, I personally love all of the waterfront dining that you've got here in Southern Maryland. This is an area where you can live slow and still get high-speed internet. I like to think of it like this. You're not far away from everything. You're just far away from the parking meters and the stress ulcers. Myth number 5 is that housing here in Southern Maryland is completely unaffordable. And while yes, you're not going to pay the prices that your parents or your grandparents paid 30 or 40 years ago for a home, the truth is we are a fraction of the cost of living in a place like DC, Bethesda, or even Arlington, Virginia. Not only that, but those areas also typically have tiny, cramped living spaces as compared to the large lots and homes that you can find right here in Southern Maryland. You see, the average price per square foot on a home here in Southern Maryland is significantly lower. You can find a home for $150 to $225 per square foot. If you head over into DC or Arlington, most areas of Northern Virginia, you're going to find prices at $400 a square foot or more. And typically, you're going to get 2 to 3 times the lot size that you would get in a place like Bethesda, which means that you're going to have plenty of space for a backyard, an in-ground pool if you'd prefer, or even space to park your boat. And overall, cost of living is 10 to 15% lower in Southern Maryland than it is in surrounding areas. And that's largely due to the housing prices, less expensive taxes, and our affordable utilities thanks to the Southern Maryland Electric Cooperative. I'll admit, you might not be able to get the penthouse condo with a rooftop pool here in Southern Maryland, but you can definitely get a large home with a big yard and your own private pool that you don't have to share with 53 strangers on a hot summer afternoon. And myth number 6 is that everything in Southern Maryland is rural and outdated. And while yes, there are still lots of country back roads with older homes and local charm, there are also spots where you're going to be able to find things like brand new subdivisions with smart homes and fiber optic internet. You're going to find modern rec centers with splash pads and turf fields that are being built by the local HOAs. Of course, the schools and the libraries are in the process of being upgraded. Now you can find tech labs and free community classes on the weekends. And of course, there's top-notch medical facilities, restaurants, and family attractions. This is a community that honors its roots while investing in its future. You can go from watching a high school robotics team at a local open house to waving at Santa as he rides a fire truck down a back road that still kind of smells like hay. And yes, we're still very proud of our Old Bay seasoning, but now we put it in our aioli, our pretzels, and even in our popcorn. So there you have it. 6 myths about Southern Maryland completely busted. We've got way more going on than most people realize, and a sense of community that can't be beat. You see, Southern Maryland is not just cornfields and crab cakes, although the crab cakes are definitely a perk. If you're thinking about living here, visiting, or just passing through, don't let the stereotypes fool you. There's plenty of opportunity, beauty, and friendly folks who are happy to point you in the right direction to find your next bushel of crabs. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave us a comment about what myth you've heard that we haven't covered or what you think we should cover next time. And if you are passing through the area, next time you go by Mrs. Moo's at Spider Hall Farm, order the milkshake. You'll be glad you did.